River cane was one of the most important primitive plants of our ancestors. Chokma, Sahoshafoet, Donna Ititapa.
Chukma, Sahoshafoet, Lori, White Buffalo.
Today we are demonstrating cane harvesting and splitting and peeling the cane.
The process of splitting a river cane can be difficult.
It takes a lot of hard work, and most people really don't realize it is a lost art. There are several cane stands within the Chickasaw Nation boundaries. When we do go to harvest, we don't want to take everything that we can because we don't want that stand to actually die. I look at the cane whenever we go out, and I thank Creator for giving us the opportunity to actually step in the footsteps of our ancestors. Our ancestors chose to build our communities by the riverbanks because it gave them easier access to river cane. It was one of the most precious plants given to them by Creator.
River cane ultimately was used in abundance of ways that was very important to the Chickasaw people, especially when it came to the different ways that you could use it, such as the blowgun. You could keep it as is and just hollow out the inside of it to make a weapon. And then our ancestors, also found out that they could split it and then ultimately peel it to make the mats, to make the baskets. Our ancestors would also use the river cane to purify the water from the creeks or the rivers to ensure that our ancestors had clean drinking water.
I believe that our ancestors would have took a sharp stone or maybe a projectile point made from deer bone, and they would have taken that and used it to cut at the base of the cane.
The process of splitting a river cane can be difficult just because during our process, it was difficult to try to get the tension right with your knife, to try to be patient enough to not force the river cane to do what you wanted to do. You had to really be patient and just ultimately let the river cane peel the way that it wanted to and then try to work with it that way. So there's tons of different ways that our ancestors used this one plant, and it's just incredible that we're still able to find stands that our ancestors used to keep these traditions alive. When Donna and I went to the homeland and we harvested, I would almost say hundreds of river cane, and we were thinking that we had plenty to make a basket or a mat. And then when we got back and we realized how much work went into creating the strips of river cane, you can only really get maybe 4 strips off of one cane, no matter the length of it. To make a basket or a mat, you need almost 100 strips. So that's hundreds of river cane that you need, and then not to mention all the hours to put into peeling and splitting the cane. It adds up. Going back to the homelands for me was an incredible experience because we were walking in some places that our ancestors were walking, and we were there basically doing the same thing that they'd done thousands of years ago. We had to travel by boat to some of these places, and then once we arrived to our destination, it was a hike to try to get to the river cane stand. And then once you harvest, it's always a journey back because you're having to bring back hundreds of river cane by boat and then trying to also put it back on the trailer to get it back to Oklahoma. So it was definitely an experience, but you find that going through that, you gain a respect for the art. You really realize what it took for your ancestors to make these artifacts such as mats or baskets, and just a new appreciation for the art, definitely. Today when we go out to our river cane stands, we would take loppers and we would try to cut it as close to the base as possible. Then when you get ready to clean it, you have to make sure that your river cane is completely washed. So we will take a sponge and we clean it from top to bottom. Then you will take a knife and you will cut off the excess leaves. And then they will leave knots here close to the nodes. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that those are as smooth as possible. So you'll take your knife and you'll try to cut those down as close as you can to the node so that when you get ready to split it, it'll split evenly, which will also make sure that you have a clean, even pill when you get ready to make your baskets or mats.
It takes a lot of hard work, and most people really don't realize it is a lost art. Because you can go and buy commercial reed to make a basket, but to go and harvest your own cane and do all the work to get it to the point to where you can create that work of art. To me, our younger generation should want to be a part of that, to bring it back.
When I was younger, I always wanted to learn as much as I could from my grandparents and my mother. And now that I am a mother myself, I want to not only inspire this next generation, I want to spark that interest to want to learn more about their culture, their heritage, and us being able to pass down our knowledge, knowing that firsthand, our stories, being able to tell them how we went to the homeland, how we were there to harvest, and then showing them the steps right there in person.
I believe that if we do that, maybe more of our youth and more of our artisans will want to harvest their own and make their mats and baskets out of the things that they harvested.